I have been looking at the weather reports, and I have concluded that this snow is going to be here until March. It ain't going nowhere. We got another 2 inches last night. What I had done, I was just looking at the weather and seeing my supply and the pace of the calls coming in. And I had just thought, I don't need to plow this timber road right now because I can get by. Well, I've just done my own calculus and I've concluded that yes, I do need to clear it off because I need to get to that wood so that I can sell it. So I have used my tractor and I have cleared off the timber road. The thought was, I can get my truck back there, but I already got my truck stuck on flat pavement up here on the driveway just because of the ice. This thing, it won't go anywhere. So what I'm doing, guys, is I am using my tractor. Since I got it out here, I'm just going to bucket these logs and just get this truck loaded up. It's going to have a delivery in the morning. And it's just me getting aggressive. I've cleared off the driveway. I've pushed all the snow off to the side. And it's tough doing this with the bucket because, that timber road's got some, timbers that stick up and you're pushing the snow with the blade and pow, you hit one. And I need a snowblower, obviously, but I think that's going to be I think that's going to have to wait until next year. So I thought today, guys, I got to get this loaded. You can just watch me working the tractor and getting this truck loaded up for a delivery. All right, guys, here we go. One of the comments that I get is about hand loading the truck. It takes extra time. I think it takes extra time to load it, but I think unloading it makes it much faster than with the wood that was just thrown in. And while I have never taken the extra effort to do a study on the entire process, to me, I think it's fine. And I also think that the value it brings the customer seeing a hand-loaded truck of firewood that they're paying a good penny for, I think it shows that I've put some extra care into their order and it's something that they can trust. So I am going to back the tractor up the road, we'll load up another bucket and we'll get this loaded. I still don't know what the right answer is with my tractor. It's probably a debate that'll never be settled about, do you leave it idling or do you shut it off? And I was first told to leave it idling if you're just going to be off of it for a few minutes. But then I was also told, since this has emissions, that you shut it off, which obviously puts more wear and tear on the starter. But then the person pointed out that the tractor has a 5-year warranty on it. This is a Tier 4 diesel. It's a 40 horsepower. And so far I have done 3 regen cycles with the engine. And I remember the very first one that it did, it was pretty unnerving because I didn't know what was going on. I thought a demon had got a hold of my tractor and wouldn't let go. But now I got it figured out. And you have a button on your dashboard if you want to do it now or if you want to wait. So I've got all that figured out too. But I will say this. I have no idea, however, I got by this long without a compact tractor with a front end loader. If you have a strong opinion either way, why don't you go ahead and put it in the comments and let me know what you think. Should I turn the engine off or should I just let it idle? I would think too, idling, adds hours to your engine, I guess. You're burning fuel. And I would think maybe if this were an older diesel without emissions, that would be an easier decision to make. But I would imagine the emissions are a pretty expensive repair, especially, they probably start to go bad after your warranty period expires. But that was all part of the decision on buying this tractor, because I was looking for a used one. But I was shocked to find that the new ones weren't that much more expensive than the used ones. And, you're going to pay a little bit more, but what the heck? I got a brand new tractor with a 5-year warranty. And I got to say, the Bobcat is a gorgeous tractor. This is actually pretty nice. Otherwise, I would have used my wheelbarrow. I don't know if I would have risked it taking my truck up that road. I think my 4-wheel drive would do okay, but this one got stuck easy. My niece bought me this Bobcat hat. She got tired of seeing me in my Cleveland Browns hat, so thank you to my niece. That was really nice of her. When I was in the market for a tractor, I didn't even know Bobcat made tractors. I had always thought that tractors were blue, red, and green and orange. Never knew there was Bobcat. But I was pleasantly surprised, and at that time they had a sale and I couldn't beat the price. But having the tractor has been a home run. I think if you want to get into the firewood business, you do what you can with what you got, but hopefully you're making money. And then if you don't have something with a front end loader on it, I think you get into one as quick as you can. But it has been freezing lately, guys. We've been having some serious low temps, and that's what I'm saying. I was looking at the weather charts and I don't see it changing anytime soon. So that's why I went ahead and took the steps to do this snow removal. And I try to keep the unloader swept off as I'm doing this. That was one of the first things I learned when I started using this, was it keeps all of the crumbs off the customer's driveway. And that was one of my first compliments. Was the customer called me back and said, "Joe, I didn't even have anything to sweep up from that delivery." So that was one of the first things I noticed about how this adds value to a customer's delivery, and that's why I swear by this thing. So far, though, the tractor has been flawless. It has caused me no trouble. I've had one service done on it, and I don't know, I just turn the key, it starts, it drives, it runs. There was one time, though, I was a little worried on it. It started up. Man, it had no power. It wouldn't move. I didn't know what I had done to it. But I just did a quick diagnostics on it, checked around, and I figured out, I got it moving again. I took off the emergency brake. Don't let anyone ever tell you I'm not the brains of this operation. Yeah, I was sitting in the tractor seat and I was like, what the heck, man, this tractor ain't working. I was going to call Lepo and say, come and get this thing. And I had the emergency brake on. And don't laugh, because I know that you've done it before too. Go ahead and admit it. It was like the other day, I was running around, I couldn't find my sunglasses, didn't know where they were. I looked high and low, I looked in all my trucks, couldn't find them. And then I eventually found them because I was wearing them the whole time. However, my phone continues to ring. And, we're in mid-February, and my sales are strong. A lot of repeat business. I think the people that have found me are doing their best to latch on. Because they know, this time of year it's hard to find seasoned firewood. It's all gone. And while my supplies are nowhere near that I wanted them to be this year, I still got firewood to sell. I think if you're serious about a firewood business, you got to have a website. I have found that is what has separated me from everyone else in my area. And I think this is just the way business is anymore. No one uses the yellow pages. They just get on and do a search, firewood for sale near me. And at least here in the Mahoning Valley, I'm the one that comes up. If you are just selling a few cords a year just for fun, for whatever, extra spending money, you probably don't even need to advertise. People will eventually find out about you. But if you have a lot of wood and you're wanting to stay busy, I think, it's just the way I see things, guys. I stay away from Facebook. I stay away from Craigslist. I don't put any advertisements in the grocery stores, on the bulletin boards, because I try to stay away from the bargain shoppers. I've said this before. I try not to sell firewood to people like me, because I'm always looking for the cheapest wood at the best bargain. And I think if you're putting all this effort into making firewood, you want to get the biggest return on your investment. And that's where a website, you can really zero in on that market that you're looking for. And that's what I've been able to do. Get yourself a website. I could actually get used to this, guys. Loading with the tractor. Man, it's been so cold out here lately. I am officially tired of the cold and the snow. It can just go away. I think too, that's one of the benefits of the kind of firewood that I sell is, yes, I do have, more business in the wintertime, but, I've created a Four Seasons market because I'm busy the whole year round, especially with the restaurants. They are on seems to be a fixed consumption. And you pretty much know when they're going to be calling you. And it doesn't change in the spring, summer, and fall. I think too, if I start getting into bundles more, the bundle market doesn't really change either. I think you still get some extra business around holidays when people are just looking for, a small fire for the weekend. But I am still trying to figure out ways that I can maximize my dollar to try to get as much per stick of firewood as I possibly can. At least the way I see things, guys, profit is not a dirty word. Especially in an industry like firewood where, this stuff just doesn't make itself. It takes effort, and even with machines, there's still a lot of work that goes into it. So why sell it cheap? And that's where I hear, why don't I sell, bigger splits? I don't think the way I split it adds extra work to me. I think just making that same amount of firewood, if it's big or little, same amount of work. And I think if you're going to put the work into it, try to get as much money as you can. I think the same thing goes for maximizing your effort with firewood. The same thing goes with the species that you're making. Like I'm pulling out the cherry. Keep that over here. There's nothing wrong with pine firewood, but it's not worth the same amount of money as, oak or ash or maple. So, in my opinion, why mess with it? You're putting in that same amount of effort, and wouldn't you rather have a cord of oak when you're all done than a cord of pine? I suppose if that's all you have, and that's all you're going to do, then go for it. But at least with the way I get my logs from the loggers, pine rarely comes in. And if it does, it goes into my own furnace. I don't sell it. I don't even put it into my bundles. And that is because a lot of the wood that I have stacked can be sold for residential or restaurants. If I had a stick of pine in an order that's going to a restaurant, they would be kicking me to the curb. The one restaurant even said, their last guy, they would have an occasional pine stick in there. Some of the cooks weren't very good at identifying the species, so they would cook it. He said they'd have to throw away an entire grill of steaks because of one stick of pine got into their firewood order. So that's why you don't see it here on my wood yard. And I'm pretty good with my species. There's not going to be one that's going to sneak past me. For instance, here's some cherry logs. When I processed all this wood, sometimes, cherry log gets in with the rest. And I will pull it out and sort it, but sometimes I'm just in the wrong part of the yard, so I just go ahead and stack it because I know that when I'm loading this for delivery, I'll be smart enough to pull it out and keep it with all the cherry. A order of 100% cherry is worth more money than a hardwood mix that has cherry in it. Selling species-specific orders, at least in the state of Ohio, the law requires it be 90% accurate. But in my opinion, guys, it better be 100% accurate. There's no, I guess an accident can happen. But I'm talking like maybe 1 or 2 sticks. There is no excuse for mixing in, you know, a stick of maple or, you know, a few stick of maple into an order of all oak. You know, there's just, if you're good with your firewood, you know your species. You know, the sun's out and the sky is bright blue and it looks gorgeous out, and it is. But man, it is freezing. We have been in single digits here, and the nights are getting super cold. And I have been looking at my own wood supply in my outdoor wood furnace, and it is getting pretty low, and that's pretty bad when the firewood producer doesn't have enough firewood to keep his house warm. I gotta tell you, I like using this tractor. I can get the bucket up at your work height. You don't have to bend down as much. I think I might be trying to do a little bit more of this here going forward. You know, that's when I can't get my truck pulled right up to the stack. Obviously, loading broadside, you know, makes things so much easier. I pulled my truck down. We're all loaded up. I'm just going to park this under the roof, put the tractor away, and be ready for the delivery in the morning. I cannot wait for the weather to break because I know there's a lot of mud hiding underneath all of this snow. All right, guys, I hope you enjoyed this, and thanks for hanging out with me today. You make loading up the truck that much more enjoyable. Everyone have a great day.